Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome to another interview. We're about to do this amazing interview right here with this amazing young lady, LaShawn. She's awesome. She's actually a client of mine, been a client of mine for some time now. Now, let's do a little bit of housekeeping before we jump into this interview. Make sure that you are checking your email, guys. Please make sure that that's the number one place where you're going to get notifications about what's going on during this virtual summit, who's speaking. I don't want you guys to miss anything because not only are there interviews, there's also presentations. So this is like a two-part event. So make sure that you guys do that. Also, put down in the comments right now, guys. Let us know which of the interviews that you guys just seen that stood out the most. What was your biggest takeaway from some of the presentations that you've seen so far? But I'm super excited to bring on this amazing, amazing young lady. Her name is LaShawn Hackley. As I said earlier, she's been a client of mine for some time now. So without further ado, Miss Hackley, how you doing?
Hi, I'm good.
That's amazing. So I'm gonna have you. This is your first time actually doing one of my summits, right?
Right.
Yes. Yes, I popped your summit cherry. Okay, so if you could just introduce yourself to everyone.
LaShawn Hackley, and I'm a career and life coach. I help people, men and women, improve their resumes, their interviewing techniques, and I give tips and information on how to advance in their careers and what they need to do to apply for certain jobs like government positions that are more specialized. They have a more specialized application process.
Very true, very true. And even knowing you for this long period of time and you even telling me information about this has even opened my eyes. I've never really tried to apply for a government job in the past, but I know a lot of people who have, and a lot of people who I wish I knew you way back then that you probably would have helped, who had issues and difficulties getting into government jobs, because a lot of times it's not easy, especially for us. But that's a whole nother conversation. But let's jump into these questions, because a lot of these questions, I'm pretty sure those of you who are watching right now in the audience, you may have had these questions in the back of your mind. If you're currently trying to find a government job or know somebody who is trying as well. My question for you, LaShawn, is there still a large inventory of government jobs right now, and why?
Well, yes.
Okay.
Because of the great resignation that started, I guess, in 2021.
Yep.
People retiring. So there are plenty of government jobs, and not only government jobs, but public jobs.
Yes.
So if you're looking for a government job, they have a website, usajobs.gov, and you need to create an account and go on there and just look for what job you qualify for.
That's right. So you said it's and somebody's those of you who are watching this live, make sure you put this link in the comments real quick. So you said usajobs.org, right? .gov?
.gov, yes.
.gov, usajobs.gov. Definitely check that out or pass that link on. A lot of people probably didn't know that. Now they know. You know, if those of you who don't know what the great resignation is, I've heard of it. When did I heard of it? I think I've heard it about maybe where now. I think it was like back in November of last year. I was just on YouTube, you know, and one of these suggested videos popped up, and it was about a single mom who was a waitress or what have you, and she's just quit her job and decided to start a business and also found remote work. And a lot of people now are just left in the past 6 months now. This has been going on, where because stemming from the pandemic, you know, they're not going back to work or not staying at their current positions because how they're being treated, the work conditions, right? And now the pandemic has forced us to find other ways to make money. Now, also in this day and age where there's gas prices going up, and also now even going to the grocery store, people are spending, you know, over 20% of what they spend on groceries previously. It's like a lot of people are finding other ways, you know. So like you said, that's why now there's a huge opening for government jobs, government positions, which is, you know, could be good thing for those of you who are looking for that. So my next
Right.
question for you is, what are some common mistakes people make when being interviewed? Because you and I talk about this a lot, and some of the stuff we laugh about, the mistakes that, you know, people make, but explain some of the mistakes that people will make that they should avoid making, you know, prior to stepping into those interview doors.
Is people do not prepare themselves. They go into the interview winging it, thinking they will, okay, I'll answer the questions and whatnot. I got this. But when you wing it, you come off as less confident, not qualified.
Yep.
And sometimes you can get stumped with the interview questions, especially if it's specialized and they're talking about if you have performed this duty and you can't give them an example of how you performed that duty. Yes, that most people wing it in their interviews. I have served on interview panels and have seen resumes that are different from their answers.
Right.
Their resumes may have qualified them for the job based on what they put down, but the interviews, you have to sell yourself.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't sell themselves. Telling jokes is another one. Do not tell jokes in the interview.
Right.
Unless it's a relaxed atmosphere.
Right.
And unless the interviewer is making somewhat a little joke or something.
Right.
Sometimes you can make a little joke behind their joke, but nothing vulgar, nothing like that.
Yes, I've seen that.
Another one is being boastful instead of confident. There's a difference. So interview don't like this. Don't say, I want your job. That's boastful and being, arrogant. No, if you want my job, you're not going to get the job.
So, right, not saying that. I mean, you could think it all you want and pray on it, but don't say it out loud. Huge red flag. I totally 100% agree on that. Like too much ego. Not a good thing at all. Yes, so it brings me to the next question I have for you is, why should someone hire someone like you? Why does somebody need a coach like yourself who will help them to seek and maintain a government job? I'm gonna repeat that again, to seek and maintain a government job. Go ahead, sis.
Well, one thing, like I said, the government process, and this may be federal, state, local, and city, is more or less complex. Is a lot of layers to applying for a government job. So you need to know the system, and it's good to work with somebody who especially been in the federal government like I have for almost 30 years and have applied for many jobs and been on many interviews and served on interview panels. Like I said, it's different from the private sector. So, like I said, it's tedious. So you need someone who can help you through that process. And then the interview process, like I said, help you prepare for the interview because some of those questions, the government have more specialized systems, sometimes different than private sector. The private sector systems may be across the board. But government is different. So you need someone to help you through that. And just to, once you get the job, to guide you, answer questions that you may have in these stressful situations, if you don't understand something, and to help them with advancing in the government, because the government system pay scale is different. So if you come in at a GS9, you just not going to automatically jump to a 12. Or prime example, I had a person that I was working with, and they never worked for the federal government. They only worked as a contractor here and there.
Yeah.
And then they wanted to apply for a job that made over $100,000.
Yeah.
I said, you're not, that's what I told them. Like, you're not gonna get a job unless you've been in that field and you perform duties that's related to that job.
Right, right.
Information, what is it, IT?
Yeah.
If you've done network security and things like that,
yeah,
you may get into a job that's equivalent in the government. Otherwise, no.
Yeah, it's not going to
You
happen.
may start at a lower pay scale, but you are not going to 100,000.
Right. And I think where you come in with that is you're going to help a lot of people not waste their time doing the wrong interviews, or being called back for the wrong, interview sessions, because that can be disheartening when you go into an interview that either you're underqualified for or overqualified for. It's like having someone like you would just help, clients not overall waste their time, which is something that we don't like to do, so it's that, and it's so much of the maintaining aspect. Like, you have tons of stories that you share with me, working in your government jobs, that you had to deal with, like, politics at work and dealing with uneasy employees and things like that, that having that outside of the bubble type of mentorship by hiring somebody like LaShawn is vital, because a lot of times it's not good to share with your coworkers how you feel about other coworkers. That's a bad thing, because it could be one month that person may not be getting along with that person. All of a sudden the next month you see them walking out to lunch together. I'm like, okay, you know what I mean? So go ahead.
And a lot of government agencies do offer mentorship programs.
Yeah.
However, some people, in the building, good friends with that person, or the supervisor may be friends with that person. And
that's right.
Like a neighbor who, what did she do? She mentored a person under her best friend's hierarchy.
Wow.
Yeah. And the lady was talking to her, and she did not tell the person that your supervisor is my best friend.
Wow.
So, that person, I wouldn't want to tell anything. She was complaining to her mentor about her supervisor. And her supervisor is her mentor's best friend. So I've seen that a lot. No. So you don't know who knows who, and if you don't like someone or have a problem with someone, it may get back to that person. So mentorship is good for some people, but I never did. I never had a mentor, in my government position. So I vented to people outside.
Yes, outside.
And I actually did have a coach.
Right.
Right. Had a life coach who helped me through some tough times and career-wise, and helped me advance. So
that's amazing. That is amazing. Hiring somebody that's outside of that bubble is definitely much needed, because, not only are you getting more trust with that, that what you say is actually going to stay with that person. And, it's just better. It's just better.
Right.
So I want you to let everybody know, like, you have a presentation coming up, right? So let everybody know what your presentation is going to be about.
Actually, the presentation will be about what you need to do to prepare for your interview.
That's right.
Again, I will give them a list of things they can do, things not to do.
Right.
Not going to give the how during that time, but mainly what they need to do, how to appear qualified and confident, and because like I said, when you do an interview, you want to go in and you need to sell yourself.
That's right.
I found too often people's resume will say one thing, but you start asking those questions specific to the job. I don't want them to tell me that if I ask you, have you created a tracking system in Word or something or Excel, and you start stumbling, telling me, well, your last software that you used was Cobalt, which I had somebody actually do that. I'm like, how did you make it past the application process?
Wow.
You could not even tell me anything about Microsoft Office, nothing.
Wow. Wow.
So you have to know the do's and don'ts of preparing for an interview.
Right. 100% agree. And I look forward to your presentation. I know that several people who are watching looks forward to it. I think this is the best time, especially for those of you who are watching this interview right now. If you know someone who is looking for a government job, definitely send them the link over to register for this event. People can still register right now. So get someone in here, get someone you know in here so they can definitely tune in to LaShawn's presentation. So thank you guys so much for hopping on and watching. Let us know what was your biggest takeaway from this conversation. And I will see you guys again soon. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
See y'all later.